Hi, in this video we'll take a look at how to proxy an MCP server in Axway Amplify Fusion. So if you recall in the past we looked at implementing an MCP server in Amplify Fusion. Now we'll look at proxying an external MCP server. So this is the MCP server. It's sitting at mcpdemo.tools. It's free, you can try it out, and here is the URL. Let's just try it in Postman quickly and see how it works. And here it is. And I connect it to it, and you can enter an ID and find out where your order is. And you can also find out what the return policy is and run these various different 6 different retail tools. So let's proxy this MCP server in Amplify Fusion so we can apply governance such as adding front-end API key security. All right, so I'm in Designer, and let me create a project. Hello, MCP server proxy, create. And in the MCP server section, let's add a new MCP server proxy. So this is an external MCP server, and we'll call this retail MCP server. And we need a connection. We don't have one, so let me create a new connection. We'll call it an MCP server. And I'm brought into the connection wizard, and we just need the service root URL for that. There's no authentication, as you just saw in Postman, to that backend. And we can click update. And you'll see that in addition to just updating the connector, it's also doing a Synchronize, which will collect the tools. So I don't know if you saw this, but this just updated in the background. I'll take a look at the connector in a minute, but let me go back to the wizard, and it's going to continue here, and let me click create. Okay, I'm not sure what those pop-ups are all about, but so here is my MCP server. Let me put a front-end base path there, retail MCP server, and let's save that. And we can look here at the various different tools. And again, we're not going to create integrations behind this because this server already exists. But you can look at the tools and the prompts, the resources and resource templates. This just has 6 tools. In my project though, we do have the MCP server. You can see it was created here, the MCP server connection, and it has that service root URL, and there was a Synchronize button here, and this kind of got, this ran automatically during the create wizard, and it synchronized and got the tools, prompts, resources, and resource templates. So that all happened in the background when I created the connector. All right, so let's test this out. Let's activate this. Let me grab the URL and come into Postman. Let me create a new MCP server client, enter the URL and connect. And now I'm connected to Fusion. And again, I can run this and get a response, and I can check the return policy. I can do all the same thing. And now here's where it gets interesting. So let's come back over here. Let's deactivate this, and let's add security. Let's do something simple. Let API key security. Create a quick governance rule called API key. Key will be in the header, and the key name will be x-api-key. All right, let's activate this. Save and activate. And now when I try to run it, this should fail because I don't have an API key. All right, so I'm getting an error message, and I need an API key. So it was called x-api-key. And if you go look at the other videos on adding API key security to APIs, you will know that we need to go into Manager. So this is all repeat. Just go look at the videos on adding API key security to an API. We need an application. This is retail MCP server. And we just need to add our retail MCP server, add our data plane, and add an API key. And click update, grab that key. And now when I come back here, I can just add that value, and now we should be able to connect without a problem. And if I come back here and look at contact support, or check product availability, I can now communicate through my remote MCP server using front-end API key authentication. Thank you.